Sorry, it's been a while since I recorded this. Hey, everybody! Today, for In My Opinion, which I haven't done in a very long time, I haven't done much in a very long time, but I am back putting out videos, and today we're doing an In My Opinion, and today I'm going to have a guest. And as you can see, I have, if you don't know our logos, I have AJ here today. And AJ, what would be your job description?
Job description?
Yeah.
Well, I have clients, and I quote unquote escort them to and then they give me money, and sometimes we have to get intimate with the customers, but
Okay,
that's all part of the
hold on.
description.
Let me stop you right there. There's lots of things wrong with that. I meant with me, like why you're on the channel right now.
Oh, I'm here to talk about shit.
That's your position. Your position is to talk about it. I was waiting for the bit of executive producer, which is what you claim many times,
Oh yeah.
but
Oh
you
yeah.
don't really do anything.
I provide content. That's what I do.
So you produce content. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Producer, executive producer.
You produce content. You produce content on an executive level.
Exactly.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. I like that. And I don't feel like putting my camera on today, so we're just gonna do this in legitimately a podcast and just talk. So yeah, it's been a while. I have a lot to talk about. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about, or you just want to talk about whatever. Maybe not even a lot to talk about, just in general, you want to talk.
I like to listen.
Do you? I like to do a little bit of both, you know? Which actually takes me
Yeah,
to our...
you're a switch. You switch it up.
Yeah. I am definitely a switch. Being a switch is one of the things I like to do most of the time because, I like to do a little bit of both. Sometimes you just want to have a little bit of A, a little bit of B. But it actually takes me to my first point, is a joke that I heard today. Watching the new season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is something that
Spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not even going to explain the joke. But I started watching the 8th season, and I wanted to talk about the fact that you got into it, since I've been gone making stuff, to not be able to talk about it yet. We haven't been able to talk about the fact that you got into Brooklyn Nine-Nine recently, because I think you got into Brooklyn Nine-Nine as I was taking the break that I had, which I'm sure I'll explain
it's been this week.
Yeah. I'm sure I've explained in some form or another, but for people who haven't watched anything else that I've done, I took a break for about 2 months, for one, to fix things that I had messed up, and two, the fact that I just wanted a vacation. I wanted to just have time to just kind of relax and have time to myself. Kind of like what AJ has to do most of the day because of his kids. So, but that's his thing. Oh shit! Hold on.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
Well, I have 2 kids. I take care of them sometimes.
Yeah. Like normal parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just wanted that for a good 2 months. I wanted to have the non-being a parent thing for 2 months. And sometimes I feel like my subscribers are my children, Do you get that feeling?
Yeah, you're their dad. You want to provide for them, take them to camps and play catch.
Sometimes I just like when, what my favorite is when people they don't even say anything that shows for feedback. They just reply in my video and just go, "Thanks, Daddy." That's one of my favorite things, is when people just comment and just say, "Thanks, Daddy." Because that's
what some of my clients say.
Oh, yeah? I'm starting to think that you're a sex worker, but...
No. Escort. I escort them.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have to deny it up and down for legal reasons. But you sound...
All about the jargon.
You sound like a sex worker, which is nothing wrong with that, because sex workers are fine. We should support
Hey,
our sex workers.
everyone's got bills, right?
Yep. So yeah, like I was saying with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I watched first and second episode today. And there was one thing that I wanted to comment on, and I'm sure you'll get to it eventually. And it's not something that you really like, oh, I can't hear about this. So the first episode's kind of preachy. And
About like Corona.
not even. They don't even tackle Corona that much. They actually kind of have a point where Corona is around and then kind of jump forward to everyone being better. But no, just the George Floyd thing. They kind of preach about police, and since they are cops, I get that they want to do that. But it definitely had less jokes than I'm normally used to. It actually ended on a more somber note than a funny, like, you know, they'd have like a I don't know, like a Boyle joke or a Hitchcock and Scully joke at the end, and it'd be like, oh, that's the end, and the credits would roll.
Yeah, quick one-liner.
There were no jokes at the end where I was like waiting for some kind of joke to be, you know, and it didn't. I'm not going to say like the episode was completely awful, but it was the fact that there were multiple storylines that were feeling like they were very like. It was very much that they were reacting to COVID and the George Floyd thing, which is fine. But and then like they got it out of the way once the second episode came back. They were like, okay, we're like full speed ahead. We're back to normal. But it was just the fact that it felt really weird for that show to do it. And it was something that I was like watching. And I'm like, oh, we're literally planned on doing this podcast today, and you just started getting into it. And I was like, this is a perfect thing to talk about. So I thought that was very interesting that they would go that route. The show's great. I mean, you like it. You've been watching it for a while now. And I don't know. That episode was kind of weird, and I hope they do a lot better. I mean, it says I'm on their final season. They just started their final season, so.
And like Courtney watches like Grey's Anatomy and the other one that's made by Shonda Rhimes. Yeah, but like I've been catching bits and pieces of the last two seasons of that in Station 19, and it seems like that's all they focus on. They've completely abandoned all storylines to just talk about.
They talk about COVID
George Floyd.
Oh, okay.
COVID and George Floyd and all this stuff, and it's like I mean, I guess that's what happens when you have a show that's on for 20 years. You run out of shit to talk about. You try to be topical, but
I remember even with Grey's Anatomy, the fact that they had an episode. Like, it almost felt like when I watched Grey's Anatomy, it almost felt like it was a weird thing where they would find the most ridiculous things to happen to people. Like, they had, like, one episode, they had, like, a man was shot, and on the same day, a girl came in having weird things going on with her. Turns out she was a boy or born a boy. And it's just like, this is just very strange coincidence. It's like, why can't you just have someone with a heart murmur or something? Like, it's just so fucking weird. Or like someone has syphilis, or it was like such a weird fucking thing. It was almost like the Doctor Who effect. You know how like I talk about the Doctor Who effect, or like the X-Files, or even Supernatural, where they have this thing where they have like backstory for the main people, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about these main people. I just want to have cool things happen to the people who come in, and it's almost like they do a lot of stuff where they're like, focus on who I don't know what her name is, Grace
Meredith Grey.
Miss Grey's Anatomy, who she was in falling in love with. And I'm like, I really don't give a shit about who she loves. Because you know what? The thing that's so ironic about all that is the fact that it's like action movies. It's like, oh, I don't relate to action movies because I don't look like Jason Statham or The Rock. It's the fact that like the relatability isn't there because it's like, oh, you're trying to fight over which two attractive men you're going to be with? I can't relate to this.
Oh, no.
Two men are fighting over you? Ah, if only I knew what that was like.
I have men fighting over me constantly.
I only get the homeless man who lives next to the Walgreens and always asks for Marlboro Lights. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like my mom watches Ion, which they have like stuff like and we'll talk about the NCIS LA story the other day, but so it's like a lot of NCIS New Orleans, Los Angeles, and then the regular. I don't think they play the regular one, but they like play like Hawaii 5-0 and Chicago Fire and like shit that would be on that like old people would watch. Not to say that my mom's like super old, but she's at that age where like she'll watch like just drama shows. But I enjoy NCIS Los Angeles, and that was the thing that I wanted to talk about because you fucking blew my mind to know that LL Cool J stood for ladies. What is it? Ladies love.
Ladies love Cool James.
I had no clue that that's what that meant. I was fucking like I told my mom about it. I'm like, Mom, did you know that? She goes, yeah, you didn't know that? I was like, I had no fucking clue. I thought it was just a name. You know, like why is what's his face named what's his face? Flavor Flav. Why is he called Flavor Flav? Did he get his dick stuck in a peanut butter jar or something? Like, what is the concept behind his name? Like, oh, sorry, I'm burping. Like I didn't understand why that was even like you said it, and I was like, what are you making? Like I legit thought you were making something up when you said, ladies love Cool James. I'm like, what is that? Like some kind of thing you just made up? I legit had no clue, and it fucking blew my mind. It was one of those things like, well, today I learned, it's just so fucking weird. Hold on, Bones keeps texting me about the Dead by Daylight thing. So, I don't know if you heard about this, and we'll talk about a lot of the stuff that's with the situation with the horror games that we play. But so there've been a lot of teasers right now for chapter, I think he said it was 21. And he's acting like I'm involved. And he gave me these two options of like, hey, these two people can be the new killer for Dead by Daylight. And I was like, okay, you know, they have all these people, Pyramid Head, Amanda from Saw, whatever. He goes, it's either Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's, or it's Hellraiser or Pinhead from Hellraiser. And I'm like, I could really give two shits if it's either of those. And he's giving me like these situations. Well, he's like, oh, I think it's so-and-so, 95%. I'm like, that's cool and all, dude. But again, I could care less if it's either of them. I honestly, at this point, would rather them do a original character. Like, yeah. I'd rather be like, oh, it's this guy that fucking, I don't know, shits on people or something and they get infected.
I got shit in my knees.
Yeah. I stepped in his shit. I'm gonna get sick now. I can't get. I got to shake this sickness of shit.
Because I feel like they've kind of like blown their wad on the movie tie-ins, and they kind of used everybody they could.
Just imagine my shit character go, oh, I'm infected with dysentery. I need to get
I need electrolytes.
Yeah, I need electrolytes. I need some Pedialyte, quick. But like shit like that, it's just so stupid, and that's why which was another thing that I got into with him, where we were talking about Jason, and he's like so set on Jason being in Dead by Daylight, and I'm like, yeah, again, that's cool. Like, I'm excited because now that I've been watching a lot of his YouTube channel called Dead Meat, he goes through like all the kills of certain like movies, like slashers and shit. He also does action films too, but like mostly it's just like horror movies. So, like, there's a lot of movies that I would never watch that he goes through, and I'm like, oh, that looks like a good movie. Like, Dr. Sleep, I would never have fucking watched, but, like, I'm like, oh, that's a fucking sick movie. Like, I love that, like, concept of the movie, and I would watch it for sure. Which, I'll tell you when we're done recording who the bad guy from Dr. Sleep reminds me of. Like, physically in the face. I mean, you can look it up right now if you want, and you can tell me later, or write it in the Discord thing, but, there's just someone who's the bad guy in Dr. Sleep that fucking reminds me of somebody who I don't like right now. And I'm like, this would be someone that, like, if I told them, they'd be offended by it, I feel. But anyway, so, like, I got into the concept of the Friday the 13th. Go ahead, what were you saying?
So is it with the hat?
Yeah, the woman with the hat. She reminds me of someone that I don't like right now because of the situation they're putting someone that I know through. Like, just in the face. Something about the face is just like, oh, that seems like a real bitchy person.
Big cunt.
Yeah, a real big cunt. It's your wife. No. So the concept was that I started looking through the Friday the 13th lawsuit. So it's really actually quite interesting, and I might, if you want to watch the video for it, the guy who was talking about Dead Meat, he just redid Friday the 13th today because of, it's Friday the 13th. That's when we're recording this, Friday the 13th in August. So the lawsuit's pretty fucking stupid. The concept is that the writer of the original movie had given the rights to Gun Media, the people who made the game, to use Jason. Now, he was a part of the group that had put them together, who put Friday the 13th together, and the two people who are fighting over it are this guy named Sean Cunningham, or as I like to call him, Sean Cuntingham, and it's like Victor something. I have to figure out the writer of it. But so this Victor guy is the dude who wrote it. He wrote all of it, okay? And you know why he wrote it? Was because Sean Cuntingham came to him and said, hey, Halloween's making a bunch of money. Write something like that. And he literally was like, yeah, we're just going to copy. Like, he told him, we're going to just copy a bunch of stuff from other, just horror movies. And it was just like, I was like, oh my God, like, that guy's a shithead. Just the fact that, and the only reason it did good, back then, even, because the first one is just, it's just Pam Voorhees just killing kids.
Yeah, the mom.
Yeah, so the actress for her said, when I got the script, it was shit. And I didn't want to do it. She said, but the amount of money they'd pay me was enough for a certain car I wanted. She literally did the movie for a car. And so, the two people is Sean Cunningham, who's the shithead, and Victor Miller is the other guy, the writer. He's the guy who gave away the license and said, hey, go ahead, use it, because I really want to see Jason in a game. And he was excited for him to be in a game. And so Sean Cunningham was like, wait, there's a game out with my fucking brand and I'm not making money off of it? I'm assuming that's what he said. But then he was like, well, that can't be. So he went to the company and was like, who was the people that own it? I think Paramount or something. And was like, yeah, fuck you. Give me the license back. I need the license back or I'll fucking sue your pants off. And so that's pretty much what he did. And so that's why we're not getting any new content or new movies with him at all. Which, I mean, in my opinion, they had the guy who plays Sam from Supernatural, Jared Padalecki, in the last one. I just wasn't a fan of it. I don't think I like it. I don't like the fact
had, I think, one of the best beginnings or openings of the movie itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of trailed off real quick right after that.
I think it's a concept of the running, like him being a normal person. Because I think the thing that I enjoy, and there's the comparative stuff, and that's a lot of the stuff that says about my love for wrestling, is the Kane and Undertaker concept of being indestructible and just keep getting up after you get knocked down. The Chumbawamba theory, So it's that kind of thing that I really do enjoy because I want it to be a supernatural force that's just unstoppable. And there might be things that you can do to stop him, but that would be at the end of the movie or whatever. But that's fucking annoying. And the more of the fact that I feel hurt, I really did. I watched the video today, and I felt hurt by the fact that Jason essentially was created just so people could get money. That hurt me deep inside. I was like, the fact that he was created to make money off of the horror franchise was just fucking upsetting to me. It's just I mean, is that who would you define as your defining horror person?
Slasher.
Yeah, I mean, it really could be anything. I really don't get Pinhead. I don't fucking get Pinhead at all.
Yeah, I haven't really seen the Hellraiser movies. I get what they're about.
It just
But
seems like very much Clive Barker being like, look how disgusting I can be.
yeah, if I had to pick one, I would probably say Jason as well.
Hmm.
Freddy's a close second, but I feel like Freddy's like everyone's favorite.
I hated Freddy growing up. I think I liked Jason more as it went on to be like that concept of Kane, where it was just like, oh, this guy's just fucking, no matter what you do. And like growing up as a nerd, it was like concept of like, oh, he's getting picked on, but don't worry, he'll get his revenge. And they won't be able to fucking stop him. Like when you flip as a kid, when you flip that narrative of like, oh, this guy's the good guy, he's killing all these fucking horny teens. That's when
Yeah,
it's like, all right, that's not a bad movie.
they're sinners.
Well, it's not even that. Like it's just the fact that like they laughed at me for being deformed or drowning or whatever. You know. I mean, I like that concept. I don't like Michael too much because it almost seems. I mean, for me, the concept of Michael just being like, I want to kill things. I want to kill people. Doesn't
Yeah,
seem like
it's that thing of him just being a normal guy,
yeah.
and that William Shatner mask.
Yeah, Friday the 13th seemed more of like, and even Freddy, I guess. Freddy would be one of those revenge things too. But I don't know. It's weird to me.
I do also like The Crow, which I don't know if you would really consider The Crow to be
I feel like he's
slasher.
more action. He's more of an
Yeah,
action movie. It's still a revenge plot, but it's more of action. It's like I'm sure there's another action movie that's like that. See, I thought of action movie, but then went right to Shadows of Mordor, but that's a video game. I was like, yeah, he gets killed and then comes back, and I was like, wait, no, that's a video game. Never mind.
it's kind of the same plot to Spawn.
Yeah, Spawn is like that too, where it's like a revenge thing. And it's like that embarrassing thing where like he shows them their face and he goes, "Oh, it was you. I killed you." I don't know. I've always liked Jason. I don't know when it started me liking him, but I mean, I never liked horror movies in general. Like I was scared of like Beetlejuice back when that banister snake thing. That's one of the scariest parts for me as a kid. I went back my last relationship when we went to the movie theaters to rewatch it. By the way, something that'll always get me when I see Beetlejuice is the fact that Alec Baldwin's in it and it doesn't look like Alec Baldwin now. I'm like, that
Yeah,
doesn't. As I forgot he was in this movie.
and
Does
Gina
it-
Davis.
Yeah, but I mean, Gina Davis is great, no matter what. But like, Gina Davis is that like that area of like I guess the time period of like whenever that movie came out. She was in a lot of
80s.
stuff. Yeah. And like Tim Burton always had like Catherine O'Hare and Winona Ryder and all these different but like Alec Baldwin was in just that one movie that he made and that was it. So I was like, "Oh right, Alec Baldwin's in this." Like I keep forgetting that like he's in that cuz he for one doesn't look like himself now. Like the glasses and like the really nice like I don't know, he looks like a carpenter or whatever because I always think the khakis and the whatchamacallit plaided shirt. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's I don't know. It's that concept of like I forget he's in it.
here's a fun fact. Did you know that Tim Burton directed Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
I did know that because he that's why it has like really weird scenes where it's just like seems really dark, like the with the clowns and the bicycle.
Large Marge.
Yeah.
Large Marge terrified the shit out of me when I was like 5 and I saw that movie.
Yeah, because it's like oh Pee Wee, it's a funny comedy movie, and
Yeah.
you like, but there's so much.
He has a
so
kid's
much in that
show.
movie. Yeah. It's so much of that movie is like weird and like almost like a fever dream where you're like, this seems like a nightmare, like a legit like nightmare when you have those dreams. You ever have those dreams that like they're nightmares, but you don't know why things are happening? So like, some guy would just be like, I don't know, say like a guy's just cutting like stabbing a dude for no reason. You're like, why is that guy doing it? And he goes, because I love pancakes. Or like just some like I've had dreams like that where they make no sense whatsoever and they creep me the fuck out when I wake up. Like it's just like complete nonsense, and then usually eventually someone turns on me and goes, I'm gonna kill you now, and then I just wake up. I don't know if that's saying anything about me. I feel like I made the podcast go to a screeching halt. Like I ruined everything because I'm like, maybe this is just me.
Well, not from the dreams I can remember, they always seem to follow like almost like a movie plot where it's like one cohesive story. There might be some weird things, but everything still kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never had that weird random thing where, like there's a dog riding a unicycle, blowing bubbles or, you know, some weird like shit like that. It's always seems so logical that it's almost like it's not a dream.
I have
And
those now, but like
yeah,
I would have dreams where like it'd be a thing where they'd be like, "Hey, just come to me," and it'd like be like a bunch of stones, and then under them would just be like nothing, and just be a pitfall. And my brain would go, "All right, just jump to the first one," and I would just go, "Nope," and just jump like fall off, and I'd just wake up. So it'd be like those weird things where like my brain doesn't do what like almost like how my body works, where like I would right away go to the negative, and just go, "Nope, you're falling," and then I would just wake up. Like that kind of weird shit. Like I know I don't know. It's that weird thing where like it's this strange like what the it's like Murphy's Law, I guess. My dreams are just Murphy's Law.
everything bad just happens.
Yeah, it's just like I think about the most best intentions and then just nothing works out the way I want to. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry. Were you saying anything more about dreams? Because I have something I want to segue into.
No, yeah, let's segue on that like a ride on a Segway.
All right, MCU. I've been gone for so long. I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody about Black Widow.
Okay.
So, and I've talked to you about this already, and we've and then maybe we can get into Suicide Squad as well. But as far as Black Widow, I felt like it wasn't like there was no upping the ante, but it was a good movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was the equivalent of female Iron Man 1. Like it was her
Just more of a personal story
yeah, and
than
then
the
there
Avengers saving the world.
yeah, and it was like a, the person gets to this thing that they're trying to overcome, they overcome it by the end. Just like Iron Man 1 or 2. People were like, "Oh, it was very boring or it wasn't good," and like I think people are expecting this like upping each movie, and I'm like, it was good for what it was. It was a standalone movie. It was just like any other fucking MCU movie where, and it's like I said the Iron Man effect, where it's just like give them a villain that can do things the same as they can, and they literally did this in this one. So, am I happy with the origin of the character for the villain? No. Am I cool with the fact that they even included them? Yeah. But
I am thoroughly disappointed by the reveal of the
are you?
villain. Yes.
I mean, you should have saw it coming at one point, right?
I kind of was getting hints when they were making such a big deal about it during the main, part of the movies where they kept talking about it, but just the fact that it could have been anyone, it could have been somebody new, it could have been somebody old that was more relevant, but just the fact that it was that, I was just very disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that they used I don't know. I don't like the fact that she was related to the main bad guy. Like
Yeah.
if she was just a female version of Tony Masters that I'm used to, I'd have been like, "Fuck yeah, that's cool." Um
It was cool seeing them do all the Avengers moves, like the Black Panther stuff and the Captain America stuff.
yeah. That is true. I did like that. And I was very upset with the fact that they couldn't do the actual skull face because they
Yeah.
said supposedly it was about like something about like China not wanting to, I don't know, depict a skull in their movies, or they don't like, I don't fucking know. It's fucking stupid. Anyway. But yeah, I mean it wasn't a bad movie. It's not much to say about it. It was a good, decent movie. There's not anything that would like make it any better than Iron Man. I think it was the same severity of, you know, it being good. There wasn't anything. I found out through Black Widow that I love Florence Pugh, if that's how you say her name. I fucking love that woman. The her
Her
sister.
sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it turns out she's been doing stuff that I have completely ignored. Like they did that biography or that auto, what's it called? The biopic of that one wrestler who shot stuff out of her cooter and got fired from did I tell you that story? Paige.
No.
So there was a wrestler named Paige who was from Ireland, or maybe she was Scottish or British or one of those. She was British. I'm sorry. Let me actually look her up. Don't look her up or say anything like Paige NSFW or something like that, because that would just be asking for trouble, or you'll probably be on a list, not an actual list, but
Doing that right now.
Okay. So yeah, she was from, I think, yeah, United Kingdom. They did a movie that The Rock produced because she was a good wrestler. Like, she's been wrestling since she's been 15. Her dad in the movie is played by Nick Frost.
Okay.
Like, it's this whole movie
Yeah.
about like her and her brother and trying to become in the WWE. But it's so ironic that they put out the movie. Let me see if I could find when the movie came out. They put out the movie in... When did it come out? It came out... So that was the best part. It came out in January. The movie Fighting With My Family, which was produced by The Rock, came out in January. She was released from WWE in October of that same year. So she got a movie out of it and then was just gone.
Apparently she made another sort of movie.
Don't watch that. Don't watch that movie. I can tell you what happens. You don't need to watch that. So yeah, Florence, she played she played Paige in the movie, which was, I didn't even realize she was in it. But then again, that was before Midsummer and before Black Widow. And her mom was played by Cersei from Game of Thrones. And yeah, it's just fucking weird that they'd make it almost seems very pandering to the concept of like a woman who can wrestle, we need to make a movie about her. But like, it really is about her family being all in the business. I mean, it's that weird concept. But to make a movie about it is kind of weird. I don't know. But anyway, why was I bringing up Paige? Oh, Florence Pugh. Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. I got off topic. Anywho, so Shang-Chi comes out around our birthday. I think it comes out on your birthday, right?
Yeah, on my birthday.
Comes out on your birthday. Which is perfect because you're also half Asian, aren't you?
Yeah, on my mother's father's sister's side.
Okay. Your mother's father's sister's side. That's your what, great aunt?
Yeah, step great aunt.
Hold on, your mother's... Okay, step great aunt. Step great aunt. Okay. Interesting. So it really means nothing, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. Cool. And again, with that, I'm not expecting that much. I'm not, if they build up some stuff in between the mid-credits or build up something towards, something involving something in the future, that's cool. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not too... set on being like, this is gonna be the greatest movie ever. I don't know why people do that.
Yeah, like that's been on my radar, similar to like Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel, where I'm just kind of like, it's out. I might wait for it to come on TV or whatever first before I see it. I don't know anything about the characters really, so I'm not dead set on seeing it. But I'm still gonna have to watch it just because it's part of the MCU.
I think this is the first character that they're making a movie about that I know nothing about. Like, this is the first... Like, I knew Guardians of the Galaxy. I knew Captain Marvel. I knew Doctor Strange. I've known everybody so far. Like, I've at least heard of them. I have not heard of him until they're like, yeah, we're making a movie of Shang-Chi. And I'm like, you mean Iron Fist? They're like, no. This is Shang-Chi. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. This is the first time that they're making a movie character for that thing. And I mean, they can pull it off. It's not like they haven't, like, Guardians wasn't a thing, and now people love Guardians of the Galaxy. Even though all the Guardians of the Galaxy from the original were not the people they had, but who cares? Am I right? Suicide Squad.
Yes.
was good. I'm sorry, The Suicide Squad was good. You have to add the.
Oh, I was talking about two completely different movies.
Yeah, that's James Gunn's version is called The Suicide Squad, and then the one with Will Smith and Dave Ayer, the director, I think Dave Ayer, uh, just Suicide Squad. Um, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I felt like it was very old school James Gunn. Um, shit. God damn it. I'm sitting here trying to look up stuff for Suicide Squad, and I just wrote in suicide, and it gave me the hotline number. I'm like, no.
I want to kill myself.
Excuse me, could you give me the number? Because I would like to kill myself.
Hello, sir or madam. I'm having severe thoughts of suicide.
Yes, which is no joke.
No, don't
I,
laugh
I,
about that.
I will say, just in case, you know. So yeah, I'd never heard of Bloodsport, and I think fucking Idris Elba made a fucking. I mean, really, you could put him in any kind of character. Really, you could have made him Deathstroke, Deadshot. You could have fucking made him anybody. He was still badass, regardless.
Hey, you could even make him, Knuckles in the upcoming Sonic movie.
Oh my God! Yes, can we talk about that? I am excited. I am so excited because like I was telling you, like I told the guys, I said Funhouse was mentioning how next they're gonna cast Shadow as like Clint Eastwood or something, and I'm like, that's funny. But like they're like, oh well, who would you want to play as Shadow, or who would you want to play as Knuckles? And they're like, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I didn't expect Ben Schwartz to be Sonic, and he's done a pretty good job so far. I'm like, yes, that is why I don't really care if it's because I love Idris Elba's voice. So I'm like, that'll be great regardless. I loved Ben Schwartz in like he's Leonardo right now in the running Ninja Turtles. He is one of the DuckTales. Like he's just, you know, he's cool. He's got a cool voice. He's funny.
What I'm wondering is if to go back to like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, are they going to make him like the Holt to Sonic's silliness? Is he going to be super serious and just smooth, or is he going to be just as goofy and cartoony?
I feel like he'll be like if you want to relate it to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I would say Cruz. I would say Terry. Because I feel like the concept of like he's not going to outrun him. I don't think it's going to be a concept of Sonic's going to be able to outrun Knuckles, of course. Knuckles isn't going to be faster than him. But I think Knuckles will be stronger than him to a point where they have like a bit of a rivalry. Or it'll just be completely like just throwing Knuckles. And I mean, we already had a hint towards Tails. So maybe we'll just throw Knuckles and Tails in there and go, yep, these guys are here. They need help somewhere in the green zone or whatever the fuck. I mean, I think he'd be like the strong guy, like the dude who makes Sonic look silly, like almost like a competitive thing. Like and to reference another thing like Bloodsport and Peacemaker in that one scene. I think it'd be that kind of concept. But that's just me. I can't believe, and I feel so to share the story just for the podcast. I felt stupid, not stupid, but I felt kind of silly the fact that I was the one out of all of us to spot the dick in Suicide Squad. No one else noticed the dick in Suicide Squad, like the literal penis shown in Suicide Squad. And like I don't know if it's because I really pay attention to detail. But
you just love dicks.
Maybe I just love dicks. But there is a scene. The scene, if you guys have seen it, if you not, I'm sorry, I'm gonna spoil it for you. But Bloodsport and Peacemaker, who's played by Idris Elba and John Cena, they fucking just run through this whole camp and kill a bunch of people. Men and women, doesn't matter, they just kill a bunch of people in this
children.
Cool ways. No, wait, no, that's not, don't say that. So there was one guy in the scene, and it happens quickly, and if you've seen it, cool. If you haven't, you can go back and watch it. I don't know how badly you want to see a penis. You can just find that on the internet, or if you're a male, you can just look down. But the concept was he pulls a curtain out, just a shirt. He's Donald Duck in it. Just has a shirt and his dick's
Shirt
out.
cocking it.
He's what?
Straight up shirt cocking it.
Shirt cocking. I like calling it Donald Ducking, like the Funhouse. Just Donald Ducking it. Just a shirt and his junk out. And just really quick, and then he just gets killed. Like, immediately as you see his dick, it's like, it's gone. But yeah, he's just Donald Ducking it, and it's fucking weird. And I thought that was weird, and I thought you guys would see it too, but no one mentioned it. Or maybe you guys were waiting for the first person to mention it. Like, I was the one who was adding little details into the movie. Like, the fact that the woman who plays Mantis is literally in there for a quick second as a background dancer in the bar. And I don't know how to pronounce his name. Palm something. She's like a French-Canadian. The woman who plays Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy. She was in there for a second, and I was like, oh, look, it's the... And I thought she'd have lines, but she never did. And I'm like, okay, whatever. She was uncredited in the movie, but it says she's in there. And she was even, like, in pictures for, like, cast photos. So I was like, why the fuck is she there? She's not in the movie. And then another fun fact that I don't know if you knew, but the woman who was part of Waller's team, you know who I'm talking about, the blonde-haired white woman?
Yeah.
She's
the
actually,
one that you see in the end credits.
Yes, she is actually James Gunn's girlfriend.
That makes sense.
I don't know if they're married, but it's James Gunn's girlfriend. She's been with him for a while, and she's going to probably be in the Peacemaker series as well.
Yeah, from what I was reading, her and Steve Agee are like his handlers or something.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he's in fucking everything, so... He was one of the Ravengers. Yes. I don't know if he's been in other stuff with him. I mean, he's not like Michael Rooker level of James Gunn, or Sean Gunn levels of James Gunn, but yeah, it's just like even I don't know, it's just weird. Sean Gunn, it was one of the weird things where like I caught him on Gilmore Girls. I don't know if you know, but he's like a regular on Gilmore Girls. And it's so fucking weird to see, because my sister watches it, and I'm like, why the fuck is James Gunn's brother on here? I was like, that guy right there. She's like, oh, yeah, he's a character who's in here all the time. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Seems he doesn't just do one thing.
Just mocap.
He doesn't just ride coattails.
Wasn't he the Weasel?
He was the Weasel. He was also Calendar Man. Because he had like Monday or January, February, March, April all across his head.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be Calendar Man.
I did see him there, yeah.
Yeah, when he makes fun of Polka Dot Man, which is fucking silly because he's Calendar Man. Like, who the fuck are you? But I really do love, and it was one of the things I want to say, I really do fucking love the Ratcatcher. She was fucking great. I loved her in that movie.
She's one of the stories of characters that are completely useless or not relevant that they put in the spotlight and somehow it works.
Yeah. It's just like it's a simple power. It's just so, I don't know. Even the actress, because it was their first like English movie, like English speaking movie, and even James Gunn's like, yeah, she's like, oh, I can fix my accent. He's like, no, I want it that way. I want it to be your accent, don't change anything about it. I want it to just be the way you speak. And I don't know, it just seems like, it's like you hear those stories of like, yeah, we had such a fun time on set with the director. And a lot of directors, I'm sure, have a fun time. But like, I just feel that like legitimately James Gunn tries to make sure everyone's comfortable. Especially now because of the fact that like he's been canceled already once. And
he doesn't want to get YouTube.
Yeah, he got a redo already, so he's cool now. He's like, yeah, I gotta just fucking watch where I step. Because a lot of his shit he's made is just fucking crazy. But, oh, sorry. But yeah, he's one of my favorite directors next to Taika Waititi, who was also in Suicide Squad. Sorry, The Suicide Squad. He was also in The Suicide Squad. But yeah, it was a good movie. Like, it wasn't something it was like Black Widow. It wasn't anything I was getting ready to build up for, but it was just a good movie with silly things going on. And did I tell you guys about how I only might have like laughed 3 times. And I remember what 3 times I laughed. It was when they're intimidating the thinker, and at one point Harley walks back and forth and goes, "I'm walking back and forth." Like that's literally what she says to intimidate him. Like it's right after the, if you have personalized license plates, you're dead. She just like, it was almost like I'm wearing a top hat, like that kind of joke where she was explaining what she was doing and meaning it as a way to be intimidating. And then the other one was also by Harley, and that was the Milton talk in the cubicles.
Yeah.
And then the third time was the golf club to the side of Amanda Waller's head. And then she looks behind her. The woman who hits Amanda turns around and sees the dude. She goes, "Get back on the fucking satellite, Bob," or she says something.
Yeah.
But it's the way she said it was just like, I cracked up laughing because the guy's like so confused. He's like, doesn't know what to do. Those were the 3 times I laughed. And I enjoyed the movie, but I didn't like laugh out loud like, like crack up laughing. Just those 3 parts were like the parts where I really did love. The movie was good in general.
Yeah, I know one of the parts that got me was John Cena in the briefing. Starfish is also code for butthole. Is there any connection?
I did think that the whitey tighties thing was pretty funny. It was funny until he said, "Is that a race thing?" I'm like, oh, okay, because he said whitey tighties. He was like, "Oh, come on, is that a race thing?" He goes, "What? No." But I really enjoyed him. Like everybody who, okay, I can't say anybody who survived because I did like Polka Dot Man.
Spoiler alert.
I did love Polka Dot Man.
The thing with him and seeing his mom everywhere, that was like funny, but then it was like one of those things that like, okay, you overdid it a little bit.
You really do like your mom. Yeah, I don't know. The weird part with the dancing was strange, but then I got the whole point of him saying, "That's not Starro, that's your mom." And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna fuck her up then."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mean, it was good. I enjoyed him though. Like his arc was pretty nice. The concept, like him telling his backstory of his mom doing experiments on all his siblings and him, that was pretty cool. Like that was very, it got somewhere. It didn't feel like it was, I don't know. He was almost like the Rocket Raccoon of the group, but not, I guess, an experiment. You know what? Forget it. I just said that. So what else? What else is there? I did have one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I don't know exactly what is going on with it, but they're making a big deal out of that. So, oh god, the article I'm finding is Hype Beast. Oh god, I want to vomit. So here you go. This is by Sci-Fi Channel Wire. Supposedly, the new comic book for Spawn, King Spawn #1 by Image Comics, had gotten to 500. Okay, I'm not good with numbers. So it broke records recently because it was pretty much just like bought out immediately because of it's a new Spawn comic book. And I don't know if it's like anything excited. I bought my copy already, which was funny that they brought that up. There's like, this is a new version of Spawn. It's just called King Spawn. It's somewhere in the universe of whatever's going on with him. He's at like, I think 300 issues right now, maybe 320. And somehow he broke a bunch of records. And the thing that was weird was that like Todd McFarlane like thanked Marvel and DC, but he doesn't work for either. That was the weirdest part, I thought. It was like, oh,
well, isn't Spawn a Marvel property?
No, Spawn's a completely like him thing. Todd McFarlane made Spawn after Venom, because Venom was a big part of his baby. Like Venom was his baby. because when when they had Secret Wars come out and Spider-Man got the black suit in the 8th issue, they were like, what do we do with this new black suit Spider-Man? And Todd McFarlane, who was writing with Marvel at the time, was like, why not just make it an alien, like an evil alien? And that was like the art style of him. Like when you see like how Venom looks in the beginning, that was like Todd McFarlane drew that to be like, yeah, he's like an evil demon thing or evil alien thing, and it's, making Spider-Man bad. Excuse me. And he's done a lot with Venom. Like, Venom was kind of his baby as far as turning him into this alien thing. He wasn't the guy who was like, let's give Spider-Man a black suit. He was the guy who was like, let's make his black suit a thing, like an alien thing. And I don't know if he did Carnage. I don't believe he did. But he was a big part of Venom's like inception of being Venom. But then I think he left Marvel to go make Spawn because he wanted to... I mean, you can see the similarities in Spawn and Venom. Like the black with the white eye kind of thing over the face and, just a lot of the demon kind of stuff. Or the evil-looking kind of, like, creature, anti-hero, I guess. But yeah, I found it to be super weird because, I mean, I just started getting into comic books maybe like a year now. And most stuff's kind of weird. Like, it's so confusing to kind of keep up with everything. Like, for example, Venom that I'm reading now got to issue 35, and then they're just like, all right, we're restarting. And I'm like, why? It was doing so well. Why are you guys restarting it? And they're like, oh, it's just getting restarted, and they'll just fucking just start all over from the beginning. I'm like, okay, it's fucking weird, but whatever. Like,
that's the thing with the Marvel universes. There's so many universes and alternate storylines and
yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm reading now that I'm so fucking confused on. And a lot of the people that I try to pay attention to, like, I'm just trying to get into Thor. And he just got restarted in the beginning of the year. And when I try to look for his comics, I'm like, okay, I got to make sure this year issues and make sure I'm finding the right ones. Because it's like, if you buy the wrong series... You're going to be like, 1 week he's fighting Wolverine, the next week he's fighting fucking somebody else. And you're like, wait, hold on.
Next week he's a frog.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, hold on. How the fuck did we get here? So it's like that confusing part. And I don't know. It's very weird. Like, Spider-Man and I think Batman don't have that issue because they kind of stay steady. Like, no one's ever like, oh, this is garbage, change it immediately. But, like, there's a bunch of stuff going on. Like, there's something called Demon Days, and there's a version of like Demon Days, and it's there's one from X-Men, there's one from there's a bunch of different like titles. It'd be like Demon Days X-Men or Demon Days this, and it's done by this really good like watercolor artist. Her first name is Peach, but she makes really good like kind of like very watermarky type of, I guess, Asian type of looking, kind of like Dynasty Warriors kind of looking characters, but they based it in like a concept of having those characters, but in this like old Japanese time. Like the first thing of like the X-Men thing was like, it was Psylocke from the X-Men, and she was like a demon hunter, and they were trying to hunt down this demon who was essentially just Venom. And it was like this weird concept of like, you knew these characters, but they were in a different time period. It was really weird. But it was good. It's just like, it was like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, there's
like
another...
when the Ninja Turtles went back in time to ancient Japan.
Yeah, kind of like that. But like, but it just starts that way. Like, it's not like they get sent back. They're just there. They're just like, oh, I live in this time period, and you're just like, well, the character, they're just in Japan, and don't worry about it. Like there's one where they just came out with one called Amazing Fantasy, and it's literally, the concept is, Captain America, Spider-Man, and I think Black Widow get sent into this fantasy world, and like the picture on the front cover of the base, like the default issue, is Captain America with like a fucking big ass fucking beard riding a fucking tiger with his shield and an axe, and it's just like fucking super weird. Like he doesn't have his outfit on. He's just like got his shield and an axe, and he looks fucking barbaric. It's fucking weird, but it's like this different take on taking these characters and bringing them somewhere else, and they're self-aware. They're like, because like Spider-Man has his part in it when he first wakes up in the world. He's like, where am I? Why am I not in New York? Like that kind of concept. So it's a little different from the one I just explained, the Demon Days thing, but it's still the concept of like they're trying to change things up. I guess I don't know. A lot of the stuff's weird. Like you said, they try to retcon everything, and it gets really weird. To try to remember everything, at least. I don't know. Anyhow, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. What are you feeling lately? What have you been enjoying besides Katamari Damacy? Hey, you know what? We'll talk about that. Let's talk about Katamari Damacy.
Well, I've never actually played it back in like the PS2, like when it was the height of its popularity. I only started playing it now because it was on Game Pass, but just instantly the gameplay loop and just like the soundtrack, it sucks you in, and it's so addicting, and it's just the right amount of difficult that if you fail the first time, you feel like, okay, you know, now I know exactly what to do. I'll get it next time. So it's very user friendly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a game that's like that. I mean, most Call of Duties is like that, where it's just like just die and get back in there. But I get what you mean. Um, I don't know. I think I remember back when I used to hang out with Kibbles all the time. It was either he played it or Kevin brought it over or something, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, I could see where the fun part is, but I wouldn't play this for too long. It would just seem like I'm like, oh, I'm getting super big now, and I'm picking up bigger things, and
Getting so big.
Excuse me. But it's that kind of concept of the same with I'm sure it's the same with like Viva Pinata that people feel, where it's just like it just gets repetitive over time. You're like, you got to do this thing to get that fucking pinata in your garden, and then. But I think with the Viva Pinata, I like the fact that you can customize things, and it feels a little bit like Pokemon in like the way that you can create your characters and have.
Yeah, they feel more like yours than
Yeah, than
just some random NPCs that jump in.
picking up balls. Balls. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm sorry. I'm reading the story on King Spawn, and it turns out the guy who made the series of Venom that I'm reading now is coming in on the King Spawn to help write, and that's fucking sweet. Because he's the reason why people are loving Venom right now, and then he's going to help the guy who originally made Venom to make a better Spawn. Just fucking sick. It's fucking sick, bro. But yeah, I don't know what else I have here. Oh, I had another thing about trivia with the Suicide Squad. Do you want to hear this one? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? The
Right,
doctor. Yeah, that was my impression. The doctor who injects Savant.
Yeah.
That's the creator of the Suicide Squad, like the guy who wrote the first Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Yeah, he was brought in as the guy who, I don't know if he exactly created them or just made them popular. I don't know, because there's like Chris Claremont is a writer for the X-Men, and he didn't create the X-Men. He just made them cool. Like, he made the era of Wolverine and Nightcrawler and Colossus and all the cool guys that everyone's like, I can relate to these people because they're foreigners and they're different but the same. So, I thought that was... Anyway, I don't know. Trying to think of what else I have on this list here and stuff. Oh! I wanted to bring up the fact that, and we're gonna get down to, I think we're almost at an hour. I wanted to talk about the fact that I've had this idea, and I would figure to put it out there since you're here, and also the fact that, I mean, I've talked to you about it, but also the fact that people are listening, is the concept of us going over movies and kind of reviewing movies as a series. And trust me, there are a bunch of stuff that I want to go over with you, or even just shit on. I mean, even if we could just shit on them, that'd be great. For example, I saw the other day on Netflix, there's a show called Cooking with Paris.
Assuming that's Paris Hilton.
Yeah. Cooking with Paris. It's literally just Paris Hilton, and it's like she sits down with people and like Kim Kardashian and just makes food. Or maybe she doesn't make, maybe she just enjoys food. I don't know. But there's a lot of fucking weird shit on Netflix now. And I find it super fucking weird. Super fucking weird. If I can name some of the shows, I didn't write down any of them, but if I can name some of the shows and be like, yeah, this is,
Or what's it that, the one where they dress them up in monster makeup and they go on a date?
Yes! 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 That was one of them! Yes! What was that called? Hold on. I'm gonna look it up right now. Fuck. That's exactly one of the ones I wanted to talk to you about, because that was so fucking stupid. Oh my god.
Sexy Beasts.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I hate it even more. Fucking garbage. I want to eventually watch Fear Street, but I don't really care enough to. Yes.
We watched that and finished it. It served its purpose. It wasn't anything really to write home about, but it was an enjoyable watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems.
It did get a little preachy with like gay rights and stuff towards the end.
Why do people do this all the time?
Not as overt as like some of the other shows like Grey's Anatomy and that shit, but.
Speaking of which, can I talk to you about today the fact that I saw a Walmart commercial that brought up the fact that a gay couple had children in this Walmart ad. And the first thing I thought was, are the gay community, are they that worried about being represented in a fucking Walmart commercial? Like, is it that fucking important to be represented in a... Like, I would get, like, in a commercial about being a parent or something, but is it that fucking important to be represented as like in a fucking Walmart commercial? Oh, make sure you and your husband, because you're gay, get enough groceries here at Walmart. Like, why is that so fucking, like, a point to make? And I know...
it's like every company now has to like be a part of that, whereas every company has either an interracial couple in the commercial or it's a gay couple, or some like just sell your product, and you don't have to have an agenda to sell Hyundais.
Yeah, exactly. The concept that, like, it's just so fucking weird. It's so fucking weird to try to, like, market that to people who's just like, yeah, I don't know if this is, like, so set on making sure that you get the point across that, like, I want to make sure that you know that you're also allowed in Walmart. Like, that's what I don't get. It's just like, do people think that you're not allowed into Walmart? Like, are you...
No gays are oppressed here.
No gays are oppressed here. Just come on in. We don't have any issues with you because we have commercials involving a couple.
Just not in the South.
It's not in the South. Yeah, so Netflix is kind of, I think I slept on this, but they've become super, super weird with they're making reality shows. The one thing they are doing pretty well is taking an anime or something that would be normally looked over and turning it into a live action.
Like Death
Like,
Note.
yeah, well, okay, that's not a good example. Aroni, what's the one? Aromu, Aronu, Aroni Kenshin, which is an anime that I remember watching as a kid back on Toonami. That has a movie. Dynasty Warriors, which you and me are fucking psyched about. I have not watched it yet. It's out, by the way. You can watch it anytime now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's out. It's fucking out. Dynasty Warriors, the movie, is out, which I love that we're excited about, but it's really just a history. It's history that was turned way over upside down with the video games. And then there was another one. I don't know if it's an actual thing, but Lupin. I don't know if that's Lupin the Third, which is also an anime. That could just be circumstantial. That could just be the guy's name. But it looks like a thief show, so maybe it is, or maybe it is. I don't know. But anyway, there's also a new Netflix series that's completely CGI animated for Ghost in the Shell, which I'm afraid to watch because I think it's going to be bad.
Well, as long as it's not as bad as the ScarJo disaster.
I didn't mind that movie. I did not mind it. I'll say that now. It wasn't as good as the original, but it wasn't bad. And I'm tired of people talking about Bridgerton.
Yeah, that show was awful.
Yeah, here we go. Lupin. Inspired by the adventure. Yeah, this is definitely just like inspired by. I don't think it's based on the anime. I keep hearing stuff about Masters of the Universe and Kevin Smith being upset or something. Is that? Do you know anything about that?
I have not heard anything about that.
People are saying like this big thing about like it being bad or being too preachy or something. I'm like, it's He-Man. It was a show that was based on selling toys. How could you be mad? Like, what are you expecting from it? It was made originally for selling toys. It really had no fucking back. Like, the Ninja Turtles was a comic book at first. And then they're like, hey, we can sell toys with this. And they're like, all right, let's do it. Let's turn it into a cartoon.
Well, it's like the Mask with Jim Carrey. No one realizes that that was a comic book that they adapted and completely changed the character, but marketed it to be able to, produce toys and shit from it too.
Completely just a whole fucking 180 compared to the fucking, like the fact that, and I was saying like Mr. Sunday Movies talks about that, where the first issue is Stanley Ipkiss, the second issue is I guess Cameron Diaz's character kills Stanley Ipkiss and wears the mask herself and goes on a killing spree. Like, it's just them going on a killing spree, and that's not a funny movie. The fact that fucking Jim Carrey made it funny was the fact that why that movie worked. It's just like so far off from the source material, but I'm saying like unlike the fucking what's it called? I just forgot my favorite franchise, Ninja Turtles. It's at least somewhere in the realm of, it's less,
They are still fighting ninjas and
yeah, they still are turtles and are somewhere the same. But it's the concept of like Ninja Turtles. Everyone complains like, "Oh, Leo doesn't use his swords." Like, yes, because they turned it into a kids show, and he does use his swords in the show, but he just doesn't use them in like the fact
that cutting people's heads off.
Yeah, the fact that they use robots as foot soldiers instead of real people is because it's a kid show, and if they can cut a robot in half, it's a lot easier than fucking killing a guy on fucking morning TV. Morning cartoons. But I don't know. Anyway, Netflix is fucking up. Netflix has got a lot of garbage, in my opinion.
I feel like they're getting too.
Will greenlight anything?
Yeah, like they're like, we're making billions of dollars with all our shows, so we'll just let anything on there. Something's got to be another hit.
Yeah.
So it's any weird, obscure thing that they could find. Like, even like Tiger King. Like, who the fuck would have thought that would have been, the big thing of last year? But here it is. It's like the most watched show of like 2020 or whatever.
I just wish they would have fucking, I don't know, Carol Baskins did kill that guy.
Yeah, she
I
killed her
didn't watch it
husband.
all the way through, but she killed her husband. I know that for a
Definitely.
fact. That's just weird. Or like,
I did read a fun fact that did you watch Army of the Dead?
no.
Well, at one point in that movie there is a zombie tiger,
Uh huh.
and the model for that zombie tiger was one of Carol Baskin's tigers.
Oh God. Did you hear about the the prequel to that?
Yeah, they're like doing the characters' backstories, which I don't know how
Well, they're doing.
good
I know
that's
they're
gonna
doing
be.
one of them. They're doing the one thief guy, but I don't know if the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
ones are
the
going to be in it.
safecracker.
Yeah,
I yeah, because I think the characters have a history,
but
so there's gonna be some other characters in there.
it's just to Netflix though. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. Is Army of the Dead just on Netflix? I didn't even know if that's
I believe so. Yeah,
okay. I didn't know that.
which that was another weird movie where there's so many like little details in the background that have the potential to make the story so much bigger, but they never explain any of it. Like at a couple points, they shoot zombies that are obviously robots. Like they have like sparks fly out of their head. They have like blue glowy eyes, and it's like, well, what the fuck was that? It's like, well, now it's the end of the movie. They never talked about that at all.
What? What
And
the
I
fuck
did,
did you just say?
yeah, exactly. Like there's like spots where you can see like UFOs and somehow aliens are involved, but they never talk about
What the
that.
fuck?
Yeah,
That sounds like a movie that Zack Snyder. Oh wait. No wait. Hold on. Did you say aliens?
yeah.
That sounds actually right on the money. You know what? That sounds like a Zack Snyder film. Never mind. The one movie I don't like, done by James Gunn. Don't like it. Don't like it
Super.
one bit. Nope. Oh, I love Super. Super's great. I don't like the one that he did with with Zack Snyder, which is The Dawn of the Dead,
You don't like that movie?
because I don't like it at all.
I thought it was
I
pretty
like
good.
the original. I don't like the new one. I don't like the one he did.
I thought it was good.
James Gunn, I think, wrote it, and I think Zack Snyder directed it. Didn't like it. Didn't like it one bit. I love Ty Farrell or Burrell. Ty Burrell. Ty Burrell, the dad from American Family, Modern Family. Why am I saying American Family? Modern
Yeah.
Family. Ty Burrell. Guy's hilarious. Don't like
Yeah, he
him
was
in
such
that
an asshole in
movie.
that movie.
Yeah, don't like him in that movie. But he's a great fucking comedy dude.
Yeah.
But it just upsets me that he's just a complete prick in that movie. Mekhi Phifer, fucking dumbass in that movie.
Yeah.
There's a
Made all the
lot
wrong
of
decisions.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of parts in that movie are just fucking stupid.
The one thing I didn't get about that movie was the time frame. Like his wife got bit by the zombie and it was like months later, but she was still not a zombie yet.
They're like, just hold on. Let's see if
Let's see how this plays out.
let's see how this plays out. So, couple things I wanted to talk about. Two. One is the fact that I've been watching a lot of different horror movies, and there's some really good fucking ones that are overlooked. And also the fact that, that show. Have you watched the video I sent you of the Baroness Von sketch show?
I have not yet. I think you sent me two.
I might have sent you two. I might have sent you just one. Point is that there are 4 women from Canada who are fucking hilarious. I wouldn't say the same extent of Whitest Kids, but it's in that.
Moore.
It's that in R.I.P. for Trevor Moore, but it's in that kind of vein of like independent sketch comedy. That's
Like
just
Portlandia.
Yeah. I would say like Portlandia, but this is more like I don't know. It's some of the stuff they do is very based in their age, like 40-year-old women. Like they do a lot of red wine sketches and a lot of like just going out and women stuff. Like they do this really good sketch. I advise anyone listening to check them out. They have some really good sketches. There's some really like hit or miss, but there's some really good ones. The one I sent you is probably one of my favorite. So it's this concept of like the one I saw that was quite like stupid funny, and at the part where I'm like, okay, I get it, but it's kind of feels kind of weird, is the women are in an office setting, and these guys come up and go, I had the weirdest experience just now. I got these nasty emails from our clients, and it turns out I put my name, it spell checked my name as Jen and not John, and they thought I was a woman. It's almost like they treat you guys like garbage all the time, or like you guys are dumb. She goes, she's like, yeah, that's not strange at all. That's actually quite normal. That's an everyday thing. And she's like, he's like, you guys deal with this every day? She's like, yeah, that's it's pretty normal. And then they like pop up like the logo for like Stranger Things, but it says normal things. And it's just like these men are so fucking blown away, and like they're almost getting like woke with the concept of like women get treated differently. And they're like, yeah, it's like an everyday thing. And like there's one guy that goes, can you believe people are still getting Me Too'd? I didn't think this still was a thing. And he goes, I know what'll fix this. And he sends a tweet and goes, there, I fixed it. And she's like, yeah, that, yep, you did a great job. And they just like the women are just like letting it go. Like, okay, whatever. That's fine. But the one I sent you was funny because the sketch is called I'm a Dirty, Filthy Girl. And it is just a woman trying to buy a Monistat at her pharmacy. And it just goes and it's just one of those things where it gets more and more progressively just ridiculous as it goes. Because it's just like one of those things where there's one person who's like the straight person, and the pharmacist is asking all these questions that are really none of her business. You gotta watch it because I can't do it justice. It's just fucking funny. But there's a lot of good sketches. Like I'm trying to think of the one that was really funny where another one of my favorites was this woman is like so set on water, and she's like the one girl comes up and starts like pouring her glass of like coffee at the office, and she's like, someone's tired. She's like, you should really drink more water. She's like, oh, I drink water. She's like, but not as much as me. I drink water all the time, and it feels like it's helping my skin. It's making me younger. It's just helping me out just overall. She's like, I don't even need to moisturize. She's like, no, you should still moisturize because, you're not going to live forever. She's like, no, I will live forever because I drink so much water. And she's like, you should drink more water. And she's like trying to sell her on it. And this girl, the woman with the coffee goes, okay. She's like, well, I should get back to work.
You're drenched in piss, by the way.
And then they just cut to like they shooting above her waist the whole time. And then after she says it, they cut to her and she's literally like in a puddle of piss and her pants are just drenched. She's like, yep, just drinking so much water. And it's just so fucking stupid, but funny. And then another guy comes over trying to like reheat his coffee and he slips and falls in the piss. It's just like stupid stuff. But like it's just I've been watching it because I can play IFC on my TV, and like I've told you, I've been watching Brockmire and Portlandia and like a lot of the other shows. I don't understand Stan versus the Forces of Evil with John C. McGinley from Scrubs. It's this weird show that like almost feels like Ash. Like it feels like Evil Dead, but it's like trying to be funny. Like too funny. I don't know. It's really weird. Like you've watched Scrubs, right?
Yeah.
So like imagine Dr. Cox being like Ash from Evil Dead. It's like that concept. But it's Dr. Cox, so like he doesn't want to do any of it. He's always pissed off at the fact that he has to get up and stop doing what he wants to do. Like, he's always, like, just kind of frustrated. It's like him dealing with these evil things in town is almost the equivalent of how he acts around JD. It's just, like, him just, like, shitting on people, telling them how they're not real men or they're not real American, or, like, just being that person who would be considered problematic right now in these times that we live in. And he's just like, yeah, like he's just super, and he's not like, like, cause the one straight person in the whole show, it's like that person who's put together is I guess the deputy, and she's always like well, that just seems sketchy. And then he's like, it's fine. I'm going to go back to watching TV. And it's always like that situation. Like, there's one episode with the guy who plays Trevor from Grand Theft Auto, and he's also in Walking Dead.
Yes.
He plays a guy who can turn into... He's an evil pony who turns into a human and falls in love with a deputy. And it's not like a love. It's just like he admires her so much and does whatever he can to protect her. So when someone's rude to her, and they have David Koechner from Anchorman, Champ, he plays her ex-husband, and he treats her like shit all the time, and she just, fights back, and then the pony gets upset to the point where it tries to attack him, and they have to actually, like, literally shoot the pony, like, a whole bunch. Like, they're like, there's a scene where they finally find him in a barn, having her ex-husband tied up, and she's like, well, hold on now, we don't know if this pony is evil, and then the pony, like, gets these huge teeth out of nowhere, and she's like, all right, shoot it, and they unload into this fucking pony. And it's just so fucking weird. The weirdest thing it is like, it's very Evil Dead-y, like very Evil Dead, not in like the weird, like the.
Is it more like the TV show Evil Dead than the movies?
It's just got that, like, all the enemies are like those weird, like, looking faces, and it's not like. I don't know. It's just it's like Evil Dead without Ash. It's just Evil Dead with Dr. Cox. That's the only way I can explain it. He is like this badass, but doesn't feel like doing anything. And the thing that kills, I think, his wife, or the thing that tries to kill his wife, because that's the whole thing. It's just him and his daughter, and his wife was killed. It looks very like Witch from Army of Darkness. Like, that's the thing that kills his wife, I think. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the whole thing, but it's just a weird fucking show. And one of the McPoyle brothers from Always Sunny, not the one with the unibrow. I guess that doesn't. It doesn't. Excuse me.
Was the one that was in Westworld?
No, the one that wasn't in Westworld.
Okay.
The other one. He was also, that guy that you're talking about was also in Psych as a character named Mary, but that's not the guy I'm talking about. It's the guy who was the other brother. But yeah, he plays one of the cops too, and he's fucking stupid. And the one thing that's really weird is that I'd expect it to be good because the creator is, and I'm sure you've heard of him before. I'm sure you know him. Dana Gould from...
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, this guy wrote on The Simpsons. It should be a little bit more funnier than this. Like, it's not hilarious, but it's still funny in a way that, like, it's funny in certain situations, but not the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not completely hilarious, like The Simpsons, where you're, like, laughing every other 5 minutes. But it's just okay. And, like, even he plays a character, too, that I think it's a character that falls in love with Stan's daughter. And every time I think of Dana Gould, I just think of Gex. That's the only thing I think of.
The PS1 game?
Yes. The PS1 game.
Speaking of PS1 games, I got confirmation that my PSP will be coming in the mail. It should be here Monday.
All right. You got a PSP that was modded or something?
Yeah, so it's got Game Boy Color games, Game Boy Advance games, Nintendo, Sega, PSP, and PS1 games.
Since we're talking about somewhat sketchy things, I guess we'll go out on the turtle story. Should I tell the turtle story?
Yes, because you haven't told it to me yet.
Okay, so what happened was and I remember exactly when it happened. It was after July, when I was on July 4th when I was over your house. The next day, I remember texting you and saying, "Hey, Instagram has this sale on these turtles, and I will put up the picture of what it looked like when I originally started." This right here is where we started. This is what it looks like, okay? So it looks like this, and you know what? I will see if I have any pictures of it on my screen. I'll send you the pictures.
Post them in the Discord.
Yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll send you the picture of what it was supposed to look like. So I went and said, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself to some cool ass Ninja Turtle collectible statues. That's what I'll do. And So I did, and I bought them from this website. I thought it was, legit. Little did I know, it's far from it. And I got that notion after I was like, it's taking a while to see have this thing sent out. I wonder why this is. And I was like, maybe I did get something sketchy. And so I just sent you a picture of what they were supposed to look like.
Yeah, so I see it there.
So the concept of the thing was that I was like, okay, well, let me contact them. Hopefully this isn't sketchy. Hopefully it's coming from the website or the company is Sideshow Collectibles, and it has it right there in the picture. Sideshow Collectibles in New York, in New Jersey. That's where their company is. They were saying to me, all right, we'll be able to send them out after we have their production is done, and then we'll be able to ship them out. It might take a while because it's international. I was like, well, it shouldn't be international. If it's Sideshow, where are they coming from? And instead of them answering me where they were coming from, they just replied, don't worry, we'll have them out soon. I'm like, no. That's not what I asked. I asked where they're coming from. Where are they coming from that you're sending them to me? And AJ, get ready, because I'll show you what it looks like. Hold on. So they said, yeah, we'll ship them out as soon as possible. I'm like, that's not what I asked. I asked where they're coming from, and I ordered all 4 of them. They came in. Nothing was right. It came internationally from China. Nothing was right. For one, those pictures I showed, I put up right now, they're about 10 inches tall. They're a pretty big statue. They came in at least the size of a normal pop, so 4 inches. So it came in maybe like half of that. Like in the picture right there, they probably came up to Michelangelo's knee right there. Like it was nowhere close to where it was. Not only that, they sent me 4 Leos when I ordered all 4 of the turtles. They sent me 4 turtles, 4 of the Leos, and this is what it looked like. And check your messenger, because that's the best way I can send it to you right now. Looks nothing like what it's supposed to look like. And I'm waiting for the laughter. Hold on. So, they came out looking like something that they made out of fucking clay, put it in the fucking kiln, and then decided to say, we're going to just paint it, and it's going to look nice. So I essentially got a Wish product without getting a Wish product. That's what I feel like happened. And so I sent them back. I'm getting refunded fully. I even told PayPal, I was like, listen, this is obviously a scam. Nothing came the way it was supposed to. I can show you the comparisons of what it came as and what it was supposed to look like. Not only that, they gave me all of the one turtle. So I was like, obviously this is bullshit. And you even said, you're like, this is probably a scam. I can't wait to see what they look like. And I was like, okay, well, we'll wait until we record the podcast. But this is just beyond, like, who do you think you're fooling? Do you think there's just people content or like, yeah, sure, I'll just buy these? And
yeah, I guess that kind of looks like him.
Yeah. It looks like a Sunday cartoon, like some kind of derpy turtle turned into a Ninja Turtle.
So what they do is that they don't plan on people using PayPal. They plan on people using just their credit card.
Oh, yeah.
And then if they send them, then they offer no help and no refund, and then they just get away with their money. Since you use PayPal, you can claim it as a scam and get your money back at least.
Exactly. And they said once they get it back, PayPal's gonna The problem is that I paid it, and I just figured I was like, I'm gonna do it in installments, because if I get screwed over, I'll be like, fuck it, I'm not gonna pay all this shit. But it turns out they're like, yeah, in order for us to give you your refund back, you need to pay the full amount. I'm like, okay, well then I'll finish off the last payment. And then they're like, okay, well once they get it back, they'll let us know, and then we'll give you your money back. I'm like, okay, cool. But and then I ended up going on a bender and just buying legitimate statues for the turtles.
How expensive were they?
Not expensive at all, actually. They were on clearance. Unfortunately, it's from the worst company ever.
Disney.
No. God damn it, no. No. Not at all.
GameStop.
There you go. You got it in the second try. Hold on, I'll send you this one. I'll send you what I bought because I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to buy these things to make myself feel better. And those are nice.
Okay.
Leo looks a little derpy in that. And then I also bought Shredder, which I want to eventually. There's Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. I want to eventually buy those two.
Now, is this a picture you took, or is this the picture of them from the website?
That's the picture from the website. I think I have a picture of them that I can send you. Yeah, I have them set up on my display. That's how I have them set up on my Turtles display behind me. And they look fucking badass. Shredder is actually my favorite one out of all of them because he looks fucking sick.
Yeah.
And Krang is fucking huge compared to them. But those other three, Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang, are on a circle podium instead of like a square thing. So I don't know where I'm going to put them. But I'll figure that out when I decide to get them. I don't know. I have too much shit. I'm going to be honest. I even... like today I decided I'm like, I might sell some pops. I have some stuff like some Arrow pops and Cyborg is Green Lantern. And there's another one. Oh, Rose Wilson. And I'm like, I made my own custom Rose Wilson. I don't need this Rose Wilson anymore. It's from the Teen Titans Rose Wilson. So I have 2 Spider-Man 2099s that I can get rid of. Anyway, that was my turtle story. That was fucking frustrating. But yeah, it was. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad the nightmare is over. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, at this point, by the time this comes out, which I think will probably be in September, when I start back up, it's probably going to be in the beginning of September when I do the 24-hour stream, which I'm excited for. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I think what I'll do is I'll put the 24-hour... I put this up the day after I've done the 24-hour stream, because by then I'll be officially back. So what we'll do is I'm going to be going into... I'm taking off for your and my birthday, I think. Yeah. So Wednesday I'll be working, and then I'm going to come home, go right to bed. And I think from 12 to about till your birthday, I'm going to do a 24-hour. I think. I don't really know how I'm going to do that shit. I haven't planned it out too well. I even want to make a return video, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. It's going to be live action, which means I have to do stuff. So, yeah, I think that's good for now. I think we had a lovely chat. I'd love to have you on again, to just have a nice sit-down, calmly thing. And fucking, I feel like I'm so set on trying to just keep going. And I'm like, I think we've talked enough. Like, I could keep talking to you like I did with Duck, but we can just cut it there.
And 3 hours later, yeah.
Yeah. So, that'll be it. Thank you guys for watching. Is there anything that you want to plug, AJ? Not that I know you watch this enough.
My butt.
I'm sorry, what? Did you just say you wanted to plug your butt?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't... Where were you planning to go with this? I don't...
Where do you think? In my butt.
Okay. Alright. Okay. So... This is awkward.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. There we go. That's a good way to end it. I didn't know where I was going with my bit, to be honest. Yeah, but that's it. I think that's it. Thanks AJ for doing this. And now that I've gotten you on, Duck can finally get back on for the second time because he says, "Oh, I want to do the podcast again with you." I said, "Well, let me get someone else on besides you or Kibbles, and then we'll get you back on because I want to get a little bit more people on, and then we'll do something else. Maybe I'll do. I want to do a Bones eventually, and maybe Dan if they have the time, but who knows?" So yeah, that was me and Me and AJ, we're gonna probably be, but at this point, this has been out. We're probably doing streaming stuff and making videos and whatnot and playing all this kinds of shit. And I think that's it. And thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time. And if you can, I'll put down below AJ's address. You can send him as many butt plugs as you can. If you just want to help donate.
Nice big ones.
Nice big ones, he says. Okay. Is there a circumference that you're looking for, or is it just whatever?
Any size fits all.
So, they're like... So you're like a hat.
Yeah, it's adjustable. It stretches.
Okay.
It's a flex fit.
Alright, well, I'm going to go throw up. I'll see you guys later. Enjoying something in an aspect of keeping someone watching guessing, I guess. It's just that concept of, I really want to wow someone, you know what I mean? Like, it's that really, like, create something to be like, people are like, oh, wow, I've never seen something like that before.